Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about what the narcissist does with the new supply. So many people that have gotten discarded by the narcissist ask me this. They're like, what happens with the narcissist and the new supply? What does the narcissist do with the new supply? Well, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do with the new supply. First of all, the narcissist is going to do the same thing they did with you with the love bombing. They're going to tell the new supply the same things that they told you. They're going to tell them, I love you unconditionally. They're going to tell them, oh, you're my soulmate. They're going to tell them all these things. Anything that the narcissist told you in the very beginning, guess what? They're going to tell the new supply the same thing, okay? Because the narcissist, they use the same tactics from one supply to the next supply to the next supply. Here's another thing that the narcissist is going to do with the new supply. They're going to take them usually to the same places they took you. So you're going to find this is really weird. But when they get with the new supply, they may take them to the same restaurant they used to take you to, the same bar, wherever you guys used to go and hang out, where the narcissists like to hang out. They're going to take the new supply to the same places, okay? So whatever they did with you, they do with the new supply. Now, but keep in mind this. If the new supply is a better supply to them, okay, offers them more, whatever it could be, whether it's sex, money, a place to live, or something like that, if that new supply is a very grade A supply, the narcissist may love bomb them a lot more, or may keep the love bombing going longer till they get that supply, all right? So they repeat the same patterns. This is the thing. Narcissists repeat the same patterns. Now, what's going to happen? What's the narcissist going to do with the next supply next? They're going to devalue them the way they devalued you, okay? Because here's the thing, you guys. All narcissists get bored, all right? And a lot of them get bored very quickly. So the way they started devaluing you is the way they're going to devalue that new supply, all right? So let's say the narcissist devalued you by how you look. They called you fat. They called you thin. They called you old. Or let's say the narcissist devalued you by calling you stupid, insecure, controlling, negative, whatever. They're going to call the new supply the same thing during the devaluation stage. They're going to look for whatever vulnerabilities that they have, and they're going to hit them where it hurts. The way they hit you where it hurts, whatever you were sensitive about. Let's say you were sensitive about your age. They're going to be constantly, putting you down about your age. Let's say the new supply is sensitive about their weight. They're going to be making remarks about their weight. So whatever you're sensitive about or vulnerable about, the way the narcissist devalued you about your vulnerabilities, they're going to do the same thing to the new supply about their vulnerabilities, okay? What's the next thing the narcissist does with the new supply? They're going to compare them to you. So whatever you offered the narcissist, that let's say maybe the new supply doesn't offer them, they might throw that in the new supply's face, okay? Oh, why can't you do this? Let's say you were the ex or the old supply, and you used to always cook for the narcissist, or you always used to clean for the narcissist. Well, here comes the new supply, and the new supply is not doing certain things that you used to do. The narcissist is going to triangulate and bring it up to the new supply and say things like, oh, you don't even do this, or you don't do that, or you never cook, or you never clean, or, you never give me money. All right. So they're going to compare the new supply to anything that you used to do and expect the same things. All right. The other thing that a narcissist will do with the new supply is give them the same excuses they gave you. Okay. So let's say the narcissist was, going out and see another supply. They're going to say, oh, I have to work again. Oh, I have to work late tonight. Oh, I have my kids this weekend. Oh, I have to see my mother again this weekend. So whatever they were telling you about, oh, I can't see her, whatever excuses they gave you, oh, I can't cut the grass because, I'm tired from work. Whatever they told you, they're going to do the same thing with the new supply when they don't want to do something. They're going to give them the same excuses that they gave you, all right? Here's another thing that I want you to keep in mind, what narcissists do with the new supply. They're going to fight the same way that they fought with you, okay? What does that mean? Well, see, it's like this, all right? Years ago, somebody told me this, an old head told me this, and this was so true. They said, before you marry somebody, always look at the way they fight, right? And this is so true, you guys. This is so true. I'm giving you gold here, okay? You heard it here from Yaz at the Game Exposed. How somebody fights will determine how your relationship is going to go. So if the narcissist, who let's say per se is a covert narcissist, they're going to be going into a lot of silent treatments. So whatever they did with you, okay, they went into silent treatment every time you asked them a question, or they didn't want to take accountability, or they gave you a silent treatment every time they wanted to punish you, all right? It's a form of emotional punishment. Every time they get pissed off at the new supply, guess what? They're going to go into a silent treatment. If you're dealing with an overt or malignant narcissist, what's going to happen when, there's an argument? Well, the way they raged out at you, punched the wall, started yelling and screaming, put their finger in your face, started yelling and screaming, guess what? They're going to do that with the new supply too, okay? They're going to be raging. They're going to be doing the same things they did with you. If they were breaking things in your house because they get angry and they're a malignant narcissist, they're going to be breaking things in the new supply's house, okay? So keep in mind, it's the same repeated pattern, only with a different person, a different supply, okay? So they're going to do the same thing they did with you, they're going to do to them, all right? They're also, in the beginning too, they're going to give the new supply plenty of attention and consistency. Now, isn't that what they did with you? Okay? Yes. And here you're thinking, oh, they're so in love. They're so in love. Really? How long are they together? All right? Usually people come back at me and they say that, and they're only together with the narcissist a few months. I'm like, it's only a few months. Give it time, because it's gonna go bad. All right, it's gonna go left. That always happens because you're dealing with a toxic person who is a dictator and wants it their way. So everybody eventually has an expiration date with a narcissist. And people come back and say, well, that's not true. They married the new supply. Now, listen to me and listen to me good, okay? Just because somebody gets married doesn't mean that they're all into the relationship. People get married all the fucking time for other reasons, not for love. You got to stop being naive and think just because somebody marries them, they love them. People get married all the time for benefits, okay? That could be health insurance. That could be for money. That could be for a place to live. That could be because they don't want to pay rent. It could be because they feel you're going to come into money from inheritances one day or something like that, or they just want to use you, or they like having the security. They like somebody cooking for them, cleaning for them, acting like a mother and doing for them. So don't think that everybody that gets married, they married the new supply. Okay, so they married the new supply. That tells me that the new supply has a good supply, but it doesn't mean that the narcissist is all in and loyal to the new supply, because they're not, all right? Because even though the narcissist marries somebody, it doesn't mean they're loyal to them. Ta-da! Okay? The narcissist is still going to be living their own life on the side, okay? And this is brought to you by Yaz from the Game Exposed. I have to say this because the AI channels, every time I put out a video, boom, the next day, the same title, everything in AI, okay? So I just want to let you know this is brought to you by Yaz, okay? So that's why a narcissist will stay with the new supply, because they're offering something to them, all right? Or the new supply is putting up with a lot of shit. So understand this. If somebody stays with a narcissist and you say, oh, well, they're still with the narcissist, trust and believe they're putting up with a lot of shit, all right? Eventually they're putting up with a lot of shit. They may not see the narcissist for who they are, or maybe they're just somebody who's very trauma bonded to the narcissist, or they don't want to be alone, or they don't understand narcissism, or they don't understand that this person is not going to change, all right? So there's a lot of different reasons why the new supply may stay with the narcissist, okay? Because the main reason is usually they don't see the narcissist for who they are yet. It takes time, okay? Depends on how much they know about narcissism and how much they're dependent on that narcissist, or they could fear the narcissist. A lot of people stay in relationships because they fear the other person, what they could do. A lot of people stay married because they're afraid to leave, because they're afraid of what that narcissist will do. They'll bankrupt them, take away their money, they'll take away their kids, they'll torture them. All right. So some people say, well, you know what? It's just easier to stay in doing this than to have to go through a big, long, drawn out divorce, pay out thousands of dollars, and, have to deal with all of that. But what they don't understand is you got to go through hell before you get to heaven, all right? So the light is on the other side once you break free of that narcissist. But some people just aren't strong enough, or they're not financially able to leave the narcissist. And I used to say this in my older podcasts where I said, never, ever depend on a narcissist for money, okay? It is the kiss of death, because then they're going to have complete control over you, especially, if you need a place to live, or you need food on the table, or whatever it is. You've got to have your own thing. Don't ever be reliant on anybody for money. I tell my kids this all the time. Don't ever rely on anybody for money, all right? Because today or tomorrow you have a problem with them, you're at their mercy, okay? And you don't ever want to be in that kind of position. So it's like this, you guys. The narcissist is going to do the same exact thing. Now, when it comes to the discard, all right? When it comes to the discard, the way the narcissist discarded you, they're going to do the same thing. So I'll give you an example. If the narcissist blocked you and you're like, what the fuck? Why did they block me? And they moved on to someone else. Guess what? They're going to block the new supply and move on to somebody else and do the same thing. Okay? If the narcissist starts withholding affection from you, they're going to withhold affection from the new supply. And here's the kicker. Here is the kicker that a lot of people don't realize. Just because the narcissist moved on to a new supply, it doesn't mean they're monogamous with that person. Da-da! Brought to you by Yaz at the Game Exposed, okay? Listen to me when I tell you, if that narcissist moved on to a new supply, first of all, good riddance. Now you got to feel sorry for the new supply. But also keep in mind, they're going to have a backup to the new supply. What do you think, that everything stops when they moved on to a new supply? Oh, they found the love of their life. They're the romance couple of the century. Hell no, you guys. Hell no. All right? Even though they moved on to the new supply, there's still going to be an inbox on social media. They're still going to be flirting away behind the new supply's back. They're still going to be smearing the new supply behind their back. All the things they did with you, they're going to do with them. They're still going to be doing hookups here or there behind the new supply's back. All right? It may not happen right away. Okay? This is what you got to keep in mind. It may not happen right away. But eventually, if that's that narcissist character and that's what they did with you, that's what they're going to do with them. So just look at how things went down with you and say to yourself, whatever happened to me, you got to feel sorry for that new supply, because that's going to be the same thing that happens to them, all right? They're going to go through the same bullshit that you went through. So this is what happens. People come back and they say to me, what happens with the new supply? What happened? What does the narcissist do with the new supply? Well, just look at what you went through. That's what they're going to do, okay? They're going to have the same behaviors with the new supply. Now, another thing I want to add here, okay? You may see that the narcissist does more with the new supply than they ever did with you, okay? I get this a lot. I get people that come back to me and they say, well, they're doing things with the new supply that they never did with me. You know, they're going out with the new supply. They're taking them out more. They're doing other things that they would never do with me. Well, that's because the new supply is a grade A supply. And you, unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, you most likely were like a backup supply. And that's why they're not doing those things that they do with the new supply, okay? And also, the new supply is offering them something more than you had to offer them, so they know they've got to keep that new supply hooked. So they may do the things that, they didn't do with you because they need the new supply more than they needed you. They're offering them something different, or they may be offering them something the same, but they're giving them less resistance. So that's why the narcissist may be doing things that they didn't do with you, okay, but they're doing it with them only because they have to. Understand this. Only because they have to, because they've got to keep that person hooked. So, maybe if they didn't do it, like let's say take them out in public or that new supply would walk away from them, whereas you didn't walk away from them. They were able to do things like, not take you out or something like that. But the new supply won't put up with that. And that's why they're doing it, because they have to, all right? Because they need to keep that new supply hooked. So that's what it is, you guys. That's exactly what goes down. This is what the narcissists are going to do with the new supply. And the way they smeared you, they're going to smear them the same way. And the smear campaign is not necessarily just at the end of the relationship. Remember what I told you in my older podcasts, they'll be smearing the whole time, okay? They'll be smearing the whole time. And remember this too, okay? I want you guys to remember this because I did a podcast on this. The empath will eventually get stronger and the narcissist gets weaker. And a lot of people copied that. I'm starting to see people saying the same thing in different words, where they're saying, the victim gets stronger and the narcissist gets weaker, all right? A lot of it was taken from my podcast where I talked about how the empath gets stronger and the narcissist gets weaker. Yes, this is what happens. And this is exactly what's going to happen with the new supply. The new supply is all gaga in the beginning, thinking the narcissist is the greatest thing since sliced bread, okay? And then eventually the narcissist is going to pull the same tricks they pulled with you on them, gaslighting, calling them crazy, disappearing on them, all the games, blame them for everything, the way they blamed you for everything, project onto them all the shame, the way they projected onto you. They're going to do the same thing with the new supply, all right? This is what's going to happen. So that, it's a replica. That's what it is. And then the next supply after that is going to be the same thing, all right? So trust me when I tell you, you have to say, thank God I got rid of them, all right? Thank God and I got rid of them and they are no longer my problem, all right? I am free from that nonsense, that bullshit, all right? So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio. I have limited time. Check out the link at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. Check out my YouTube. I lay it down. Over 7,000 videos on there at the Game Exposed podcast, where I have a lot of information on narcissism, all right? TikTok is The Game Exposed. And Facebook and Instagram is The Game EXP123. And have a great day.